Hi, folks. Welcome to the latest episode of Suite 301. We're coming to you live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, here to give you all the latest news and updates about all the Colt Club sports leagues. And you can watch all our broadcasts right here on our Suite 301 page on Facebook and on YouTube.
Yes, and remember to like our Facebook pages and follow our Twitter accounts for the latest news and media. And also subscribe to our YouTube channels from videos from around our leagues and to watch previous episodes of Suite 301.
Well, we got exciting, it's the middle of May. We're coming to you at an exciting time. We're sandwiched right between the conclusion of the Softball World Series this past weekend and the start of the Baseball World Series this coming Friday. So where shall we begin, Christian?
Let's start with some baseball. We got baseball coming up, and let's get to that. We had our regional tournaments played out last weekend. All went really, really well. You can see there Nebraska went undefeated. They remained undefeated on the season. They swept the Mid-America Regional Tournament. They're the number one seed at the World Series this year. You also see Iowa took down Adrian, and I know in that first game, Adrian was up pretty late, I believe, in the opening round game, up 3-0, but Iowa found a way and beat them two separate times to make their way as the Great Lakes Regional Champion. And then you got Salisbury defeated Sacred Heart. They played a best-of-3 at Salisbury, and Sacred Heart fell to Salisbury twice in that regional tournament. So Salisbury is going to be making an appearance at the World Series. A big, call it a surprise, but North Dakota takes home the Northern Plains Regional Championship with the help of 3 dominating pitching performances. And the big thing is they didn't surrender a single run in the tournament. I believe they had a no-hitter that weekend. So I know a lot of us are excited to see what they're going to be doing matched up against other teams that make up the World Series field. Oregon, a familiar team to us at the World Series. They run the table in the no-pack. They take down Gonzaga twice. They also take down Utah State to win the no-pack title. And Virginia Tech, a team that takes down ECU twice out there in Greenwood, South Carolina, to crown themselves the South Atlantic Regional Champion. And then last but not least, we had 2 at-large bids, and those went to Iowa State and East Carolina, rounding out the 8-team field. So a lot of exciting stuff. We were on a group text message, and all the volunteers and people running the events were keeping us up to speed on what was going on. And it's a lot of fun just getting those updates while they're happening. And, just 6 great regional tournaments, and now we got a field of 8. And pretty soon we'll be over in Pittsburgh, Kansas.
Yep. Our staff leaves tomorrow morning, heading west towards Pittsburgh, Kansas, and competition begins on Friday for the World Series. So let me take you through our opening round matchups. Starting at 10 a.m. These are all Central Time. Starting at 10 a.m. on Friday, we've got the number 5 seed Oregon Ducks versus number 4 North Dakota. At 1 o'clock, we'll have Virginia Tech versus number 3 Salisbury. The 4 o'clock game will be number 7 Iowa State versus number 2 Iowa. I'm very excited for that matchup. Two teams that, if it weren't for COVID, they'd never appear in the World Series at the same time. But hey, excited to see how those two teams battle. It's a team that's played each other every year for the last 2 decades. I can't wait to see, what kind of rivalry they show on the field there. And then the nightcap on Friday, 7 p.m. start, number 8, East Carolina versus the undefeated and top-seeded Nebraska Cornhuskers. So, you can find that World Series bracket on the NCBA website there. Again, all game times are Central Time, local to Pittsburgh, Kansas. And we hope you'll follow along with Ryan Norris and his broadcast and our simulcast at the World Series. We are going to always bring you the great play-by-play of Ryan Norris, but new facility, we're going to do our best to bring you video coverage as well of all the events. So should be fun.
I'm excited. All these matchups. We're playing 4 games in a day. So we're going to get to see everybody day 1 as well as day 2. So I'm excited to see how it shakes out. Should be a lot of fun. I know the teams are excited about it, and us as a staff are really excited too.
And you talk about North Dakota having 3 outstanding pitching performances at regionals. 3 solid starts at the World Series will get you far, because you can, it's spaced out enough that your number one can usually come back, day 4, maybe day 5, and you can recycle that rotation. So excited to see what they bring to the
See
hill.
what happens. See what happens.
And Nebraska, I mean, ECU's been around forever. They've been one of the top teams in the league for a long time, and them getting the large bid, drawing the 8 seed, and Nebraska's going to have a tough go of it on their hands. But at the same time, Nebraska's having that season where everything's falling their way. So that should be a good matchup too. Under the lights, I think everybody will be excited. Should be a packed house for that game.
And East Carolina, they're used to playing under the lights, but they're used to being that number 1 seed. So not the 8 seed, that's for sure. So I'm excited about that one as well. It should be a lot of fun, and we can't wait to get out there. So.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next item. We're going to discuss. Oh, we got a special guest coming up, Ryan Hogan, Vice President of Salisbury Club Baseball. He's going to be joining us on the show here. There he is.
How are you, Ryan?
How's it going, guys?
Good.
How are you?
Good. Is the team excited to make the trip back to Pittsburgh, Kansas?
Oh, we're super excited. We've been planning for the past couple of weeks. Got all of our plane tickets ready to go, and we're ready to play some ball.
Good stuff. Now you're familiar with Pittsburgh, Kansas, having played in the Division II World Series out there in the past. At least your team. Were you a part of that team that was out there?
No, that was the year before I came. So I only got to hear the fun stories. And before COVID last year, we were getting ready to make a big push, and we thought we were going to win it all. But COVID got in the way, and now we're getting ready to go out at D1.
Well, speaking of COVID, we always like to have our guests kind of explain, the hoops and red tape that, you had to go through just to be able to play baseball this spring. So what kind of things did you and your school mandate or restrict? What kind of things did you have to, go through just to get out on the field this spring?
To begin with, we've had to get tested at least once a week since the beginning of the semester. The school didn't want us to play at all, but we were in their offices every morning trying to persuade them, multiple hours, paperwork saying how we'll be safe, how the league is going to plan to be safe, and just kind of go from there. Wear masks during games, during practices, keep our distance, clean equipment, all the fun stuff. But it's been worth it so far.
Well, that's great. And I know that it sounds like you came up with a plan that you could present to your school, and I know a lot of our teams did that because they just wanted to get out on the field to play. So I know you guys were one of those teams that was chomping at the bit very early on, saying, what's going on? We're allowed to play. Do you have a conference for us? And we're happy that we had some teams around you to play. But I want to talk about the regional tournament that you guys hosted against Sacred Heart. Obviously 2 dominating performances from you guys in those games, but can you take us through, some of your top performers? Who should we be looking out for at the World Series this year?
Our whole lineup has been hitting red hot ever since the start of the season. I think we're batting like 450 as a team, so we're putting up runs, we're getting hits, we're doing everything right. Pitching staff's putting up zeros on the scoreboard. Arden is our number 1 guy right now. He's getting us where we need to be, deep in the games. Bullpen's been solid as well. Don't really know if we have any weak spots right now.
Do you guys know a lot about your opponent, Virginia Tech? Have you got to see them play or played them in the past?
We haven't gotten to play them in the past. In all the hoops we were trying to jump through, we actually were almost in a conference with them to begin the season, but they decided to go south. We went north, and now we're going to meet again eventually in the World Series. So we're looking forward to that. We've been following them online, on the socials and everything, seeing how they're doing, but we're excited to play them.
Good stuff. Man. Hey, well, we're looking forward to having the Gulls out there this Friday. I think you guys got practice time on Thursday, right?
Yep, 3:30.
3:30 practice time, right? We should have that memorized on our end. But we wish you guys the best in your travels out there. It's going to be a great environment, and excited to see guys playing ball again, and see guys sweat it out on the field trying to hoist the trophy. So best of luck to you and your Gulls. We'll see you in a couple of days.
See you. Have a good one. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ryan. You can just tell, it's cool to hear. You can just tell in his voice how excited he is, and I'm sure the guys are to get out there. I remember this time last year was pretty depressing, not being able to host a national championship. I remember you did a video on Memorial Day saying that we would, see you all next year and we'd be back out on the field. And, I'm glad it's kind of worked out that way. And, as strange of a year as it's been, that we do have 8 teams. We have 8 really, really good teams. And I think everybody, I keep saying it, everybody involved, I think we're all just excited to get back to normal. So good for those guys, and good luck to them as well. So what's next?
You got me a little.
Are you all teary-eyed?
I am a little bit. It's been interesting as these teams have clinched and we released brackets and things like that. I've been getting texts from some club baseball reps that I've gotten to know over the years. Most of them are teams that normally get to the World Series, and I can't believe our school wouldn't clear us to return to play this year. Yeah, he's like, I'm going to be following all the action here. They're fired. They're jealous.
Yeah,
they're jealous. They wish their school would let them get the chance to get back on the field this year and be there playing competitive championship baseball Memorial Day weekend. So,
hopefully these 8 teams coming out, realize, there's a lot of teams that wish they were in their spot, and that they shouldn't take it for granted, and
have fun.
Let's
do it. It's a game.
It's a game. Have fun.
All right. Show. Well, let's move on to some. One of the events that takes place during the World Series is the DeMarini Long Ball Challenge, the home run derby event, and we've got. Looks like the field has been finalized for that home run derby event.
Yeah. Normally we have 306 teams to pick from across 3 divisions. This year, only having 40, with 8 of those teams participating in the World Series. So you see a lot of doubles here and a lot of teams that are participating in the event. It was just the nature of the beast this year. So I think each team has 2 contestants in it, except East Carolina. But we do have Eddie Maddox from Lander University, the lone wolf coming out that doesn't have a team in the World Series. So looking forward to see how he performs, and hopefully he can come out there and just have a blast. So this is a great event, and certainly we'll keep the social media updated with the results after this event takes place.
Yep, that event's Sunday the 30th at 7 p.m. Central Time. All right, so before we close out the baseball segment, housekeeping items. What do these baseball teams need to know about?
Yeah, same thing. Just paperwork for next year is out to all teams. Updated LPAs are sent out with the updated dues amounts, things like that. So those should be all in your inbox. The registration forms are also in your inbox, and that's an important document that for contact information. So if you're getting these emails and you're no longer the contact, please let us know who the new contact is so we can take you off our contact sheet and add the new people so that you won't keep getting emails from us. So those are the things to keep in mind, and so there's that.
There it is. All right. Well, without further ado, let's move on to some softball and recap the NCSA season, which has just come to a close on Sunday night, late Sunday night, as Savannah and her girls ended up with playing the if necessary game in the championship day for a long Sunday of championship baseball. But number 2 Clemson double dips number 1 Illinois in the championship round to take the national title, with Elizabeth Scoats being named the World Series MVP, specifically with a 5-for-5 effort in
Hey,
game
that ain't
1.
bad. That ain't bad.
This is the first national championship Clemson's ever had in any of our leagues. I don't know if you've noticed that. Baseball, softball, basketball, football. They were in football a long time ago. This is Clemson's first Cole Club Sports national title.
I would have never have guessed that.
So, it's a team that's been very perennial in the postseason across several sports. So, congratulations to the Tigers. It was, I don't know if you followed any of the softball World Series over the weekend, but we talked about it the last Sweet 301 how South Common Sports Complex had put in this camera behind home plate. I was very impressed with it. I was thinking it was going to be more security camera footage. It had sound. It had scoreboard. So it told you in the top of the screen, 3-2, this team, that team, bottom of the 4th. Must have been tied into the scoreboard there, but it had its own.
That's great.
It was great to watch, and I got hooked. Which game did I get roped into? I got specifically, and there's 6 fields going on at this World Series, so I'm bouncing around checking what's a close game. I got roped into watching Arkansas State and who was it? Was it Virginia Tech? It was Virginia Tech, Arkansas State, and my son ended up sitting there watching it with me too. And Arkansas, I think it was the bottom of the 6th or 7th inning. It was the last inning. Arkansas State's down 1, load the bases, nobody out. Virginia Tech gets out of it to win the game.
Wow.
Eliminated Arkansas State. They went crazy.
Brutal.
But it was just impressed. I was just so impressed that I was able to sit at home, watch that action, get engrossed by it, and even my son was like, "This is pretty cool, Dad."
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so that was a great
Upgrade.
upgrade to the event there too. So we're going to be joined by some Clemson reps here shortly on the show. But other items to recap: number 6, Virginia Tech battled their way to 3rd place finish after dropping in the losers bracket. Again, there they are. They took down Arkansas State and Air Force. Air Force had an impressive run, I believe, in pool play. I think they went 1-3 in pool play. So they had a really low seed going into bracket play, and they got to a 4th place finish in the tournament. And there was
Slow played them.
There was a tremendous game that I watched between Air Force and Florida State where Air Force had a big lead early. I want to say like 4th inning, it might have been 11-1, and Florida State chipped back, and then in the last inning, Florida State, 2 of their outfielders just went all out for a fly ball. There was a collision. Hopefully those girls weren't seriously injured. But you just see they were putting it all on the line to try to complete that comeback, which ultimately fell a little short for them. But impressive run for Arizona State, or Arizona State. What am I talking about? Air Force Academy, and all the girls that played in the tournament. Very impressed with what I got to see online. So
good stuff.
So without further ado, let's get the Clemson National Championship. Clemson. We got Elizabeth Scotes and Kate Spence from Clemson. There they are.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, girls.
Congratulations, ladies. I see you're wearing your national championship shirts. Oh, repping proud.
Thank you.
How much fun was this past weekend for you?
It was so fun. The past 4 days of just playing with the team, it was just amazing to be able to spend that time with everyone and playing what we love to do. So.
And I always like we had Ryan Hogan from Salisbury on the men's club baseball side of things on earlier. But what I do like to just understand the red tape and the hoops that each team has had to go through. And some schools are less stringent than others. But can you explain to us what you guys had to specifically go through in order to get on the softball field this spring?
Well, we got tested every week from Clemson, so we required that for playing, and we had 2 or 3 series scheduled, but all of them got canceled pretty much, except for NC State. We did get to play NC State 3 times at home, but that was our only full series. We got to play Virginia Tech 1 time, and then it rained out the rest of the weekend. So we just turned back and went back to Clemson, but that was pretty much our journey to the World Series. 4 games.
So you were fresh. You weren't worn out yet.
Yeah.
Well, now, going through this, the tournament. Savannah sets up the tournament, so it's very enjoyable. Day 1, day 2, day 3, it gets a little more cutthroat when you get into elimination play. And then to really make that championship run on Sunday, especially the way you went, where you had to double dip, Illinois and play. How many games did you play on Sunday? 4?
4.
4. That's a long day of softball. What did you do to power your team through that emotionally and physically to be able to continue to play championship softball all day long?
I think the thing that really helped us was after that first loss against Illinois, we kind of just decided as a team to scrap that game. And, because we were going to play Virginia Tech and they were coming out of a win and we were coming out of a loss. So we needed to change the mentality because we knew that we could take Illinois and beat them twice when we needed to. So we just had to play it 1 game at a time. And I think that really helped all of us. We really just came in with a fresh slate. We forgot that loss happened, and I think that's what led to our success the rest of the day.
Awesome. Now that you've won, are you back to campus, or are you girls done for the year?
We're both graduated seniors, so we are done, but we are back in Clemson.
Okay. Has there been any sort of reception for you there? Has the club sports department, I'm sure they're aware that you've just won the softball national title. Has there been any special fanfare for your team? Any big celebration party?
Well, actually, the club sports director and some student affairs, Phil Sykes, who's the student affairs director, has reached out to me, and I did interviews with them, and I think they're going to be publishing some articles on us. And overall, just the Clemson family really has been really excited for us. And Clemson softball posted something about us winning, so that was also really awesome to know that they were paying attention to us, and just like support, just all around support from everyone. It's been great.
Well, that's fantastic. I don't know if you've caught Christian and I speaking at the beginning of the show about how, this is a first Colt Club Sports Championship for Clemson in our 22-year history. The Clemson Club baseball team's been very successful all those years. Club softball's obviously very successful. Other sports. But you're the first group from Clemson to take home one of our national titles. So we tip our cap to you ladies on that effort there. And I think that's there's probably going to be some men on the baseball field who are going to be a little jealous that you got to that finish line before them. Now, Elizabeth, can we talk a little bit about your performance as MVP? I hear 5 for 5 in the first championship game. What were you just in the zone that day, or what's good? Talk to us about your day.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely just the whole atmosphere throughout that game. Everyone was hitting insane, and I think hitting is very contagious. So once we started getting those hits, we were all having fun, smiling. Everyone, I mean, we scored 22 runs in that first championship game, which is just crazy after being shut out from them last game. And so I think the mentality was just to score first and be aggressive. And once that started going, everyone was just, it was like front toss out there. Every pitch looked good. Everyone was having fun. Everyone was hitting. So it was definitely a collective effort that led to everyone's success.
Now, Kate, I'm sure she's being a little modest. Why don't you talk up your MVP right there? What was your perspective of her performance?
Okay, she did amazing all weekend. She's our left fielder. She saved. I can't even count how many runs she saved us from just catching fly balls. She was doing great. Every time she went up to bat, I knew something was going to happen. She's a real MVP.
Good job, Kate. Good job. And Elizabeth, congratulations on your performance. That's got to feel awesome to know that you came through for your team and your friends and your mates there while on the biggest stage there. I think before we move on, is there anything? Let's talk about. This is a question. Ryan Norris. I don't think you ladies know who that is. He often asks a championship team, getting to a national championship, winning a national championship. Takes more than just the players and the officers. It often takes a lot of support from parents and fans. Did you have that kind of fan base follow you down to Columbus, Georgia? And what did that mean for you to have them involved?
It was great seeing the sport. I think almost everyone had some sort of family or friends there watching, and a lot of our friends were tuned in online and watch just because of the nice new upgrade that the facilities have. And especially when you're playing a lot of games of softball, those 4 games in a row, like there were parents running in and out of the dugout, making sure we had food, making sure there was ice in the cooler, and we wouldn't have been hydrated and probably would have passed out without them.
Well, good stuff. Christian, you got anything else for these championship?
Yeah, just congratulations to you ladies and the rest of the Clemson team. And I know Savannah puts on an excellent event down there. And wish you guys the best of luck, and congratulations again.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Congrats, ladies. Take care. All right, that's the Elizabeth Scoats and Kate Spence of the national champion Clemson Tigers.
Ryan Norris, Clemson.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you know he's going to talk about that. He might
Yeah.
even have him as a guest contributor at the Baseball World Series. And there's some championship pictures there. I think I even saw a video somewhere of
A dog pile.
a dog pile. Do we have that? Oh, there it is.
More of a hug.
Yeah. Okay.
A jumping hug, but
Hey, we'll take.
hey, congratulations. That's awesome for them.
Absolutely. All right, so let's wrap up the softball side of things. It's so exciting. We were able to Savannah was able to get together a softball season and a tournament, and those people that were able to participate had a great time. Closing out the softball side of things, the item that teams should really be working on right now are two items. One, All-American nominations, and make sure you get your player stats updated to the website. And then also 21-22 registration paperwork, LPAs and registration forms, they're due in by June 1st, which is quickly approaching. So make sure you get your spot reserved for the NCSA 21-22 season, which will be here before we know it. Any questions, feel free to email Savannah Aarons at savannah.aarons@colclubsports.com.
Well said.
Thank you. Is that it for this show?
I think it was quick, but it was a good one. An
It was
exciting
good.
one.
Hey, we had a national champion to
Yeah.
interview. That's awesome.
Yep.
All right, so that's our show for this month. We appreciate you tuning in to Suite 301, and as always, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and be sure to tune in to Ryan Norris next week, starting Friday, for the NCBA World Series coverage.
Yes, sir. And our next episode is June 15th at 3:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Facebook Live. Join us to catch up on everything that's happening around Cole Club Sports.
And don't forget, it's a game.
Have fun.